Good morning, students. We are in reproduction in plants. Yesterday, I had explained you the asexual reproduction in plants. The first one, that is budding. Now, the next asexual reproduction in plants is fragmentation. Fragmentation means in pieces. In some form of lower plants, a new organism can grow from a part of the parent plant. So usually a part of the plant called fragment or piece. Any part from a plant, if it is cut into small pieces, then it is a fragment. And it accidentally falls off, causing a new offspring, and hence the name is given as fragmentation. Sometimes the small part of the plant fall down and it grows into a new one. And this happens in Spirogyra, or water silk is an algae which reproduce by fragmentation. So only the thing is that the favorable condition, when the favorable condition comes, then the small piece of plant develops into a new one. Third is formation of spores. Spore is a small cell, very minute cell, which is like a seed in all aspects except that it is formed without sexual reproduction. The small cells which grows on the top of the plant or top of the plant or organism. Simple plants like moss and fern reproduce by the formation of spores. So examples are moss and fern. Underline the examples. This is moss and fern. So you must have seen a fern growing long leaf-like structure, and these are called fronds, and spores are formed on the undersurface of such structure. Spores are asexual reproductive units covered by a tough covering to withstand unfavorable weather condition. It is asexual reproductive units which takes place in asexual reproduction and covered by a tough covering. एक कवर से कवर किया हुआ रहता है so that it stands with the unfavorable weather condition. जब फेवरेबल कंडीशन आएगा तभी वो फॉल डाउन होगा एंड डेवलप होगा इन अ न्यू प्लांट. The spores remain alive through the season of hot and dry weather and finally germinate to form new offspring when the monsoon sets in. So it develops in monsoon season, that means the rainy season, and the offspring comes out from the spores. So dispersal of fungal spores can often cause allergies in human being. Sometimes if it is in large number in the atmosphere, then allergies are caused in the human being. Suffocation होना या respiratory system में कुछ problem होना, because when we respire it get inside our body. So it is harmful if it is in large amount in the atmosphere. One activity is given here to observe spores of fern. The materials required are frond of fern and 2 white sheets of paper. Fern is a kind of plant. Press the leaf. It is leaf-like structure. This leaf-like structure you have to press between 2 sheets of white paper. And keep these seeds under your bed for 24 hours. Then draw what you see in your notebook. The black marks with the pattern of the leaf are the spores of fern. You can see here in the picture The black mark is there, which is spores of fern. And if you do not find this, it signifies that you choose a structure that is not ripe and hence is devoid of spores. स्पोर्स राइपन होने मतलब पकने के बाद ही स्पोर्स आता है, मतलब व्हेन इट गेट मैच्योर देन ओनली द स्पोर्स कम्स आउट. If it is ripened, then you can see the black structure just like this on the sheet of paper. But if it is not ripened, then it cannot be seen. So while choosing your frond, be mindful and choose one after carefully checking the under surface. So this is to see the spores which is present in the fern. The last types of asexual reproduction in plants are vegetative propagation. It happens in higher plants. Asexual reproduction is usually carried out by this mode and it results in new plants, plant offspring without the production of seed or spores. Here, in this case, no need of production of seed or spores. Only a specific part of particular plant can take part in vegetative propagation. Some part takes place in vegetative propagation, it develops into a new plant. So, appearance of root from any part of the plant other than its original site marks the advent of reproduction. By vegetative means, and these roots are called adventitious roots. You can see in onion, in potato, in during rainy season if we keep in the kitchen for a week or 2 weeks, then we can see that the green color structure comes out from this onion or potato sometimes also, and this is the root like structure which is known as adventitious roots. So roots of sweet potato, tapioca, yam and dahlia give rise to buds and finally leafy shoot which detach from the parent plant to form new plants. So sometimes in some cases the roots of different plants. Here in first case, see the figure, the first case, the root is involved in the reproduction. Only when the roots comes out, we plant it in the soil and it develops into a new plant, and it happens in sweet potato, tapioca, yam, dahlia, etc. So, in the first activity, we observed similar vegetative propagation in bulb of onion, bulbs of garlic, and lilies are some example of this type of reproduction. Then, in case of potato and ginger, the stem produces. This is the potato is a stem. It is the stem which produce adventitious buds and roots, finally growing into the new plant. So in the potatoes you can see the cut mark like structure which is known as eyes, and from these eyes the roots comes out when the moisture is present in the atmosphere, and if we plant this potato in the soil then it develops into a new plant. So here in case of potato the stem, in sweet potato root is involved, and in potato stem, ginger also the stem. Then vegetative propagation in different parts of plants. A very special kind of vegetative propagation is observed in bryophyllum. This is Bryophyllum. The only the leafy structure is present in the bryophyllum. Here you can see this is bryophyllum, the leaves of bryophyllum. It is having only the leaves, no flowers, and it is very thick in structure. Here the edges of leaves, edges means kinara, लीफ के किनारे से बर्ड स्टार्ट हो जाता है आना, एंड small plant develops from it, which is known as plantlets, that later led to an entire new plant. And after some time, when the favorable season comes, these small plantlets detach from the main plant and develops into a new one. So the name Bryophyllum literally means growing leaf. Bryon meaning to grow and phylum means leaf. So today up to vegetative reproduction or vegetative propagation, and all the four types of asexual reproduction in plants is explained. Read it carefully and try to understand.